Stove with a tweet from Jesse Rogers. How cool is this? At the Cubs fan convention, Mark Grace and Shawon Dunston teared up while talking to reporters. Shawon Dunston announced as one of the newest members of the Cubs Hall of Fame. And Shawon is with us this morning on Hot Stove. Good morning to you, Shawon. What an honor. Tell me your reaction when you heard the news.
Numb, stunned. It really didn't sound right. I mean, I'm used to Andre Dawson and Ron Sandberg, Billy Williams, Ernie Banks, Ferguson Jenkins, Ron Santo. You think of those players as Hall of Famers and Greg Maddux, Rick Sutcliffe, but myself, man, I'm kind of humble, but I'm very excited about it.
Wow.
It's pretty cool. Shawon, congrats, man. I'm just going to tell you, we go so far back. and to see you now land in the Cubs Hall of Fame, it's amazing. Lauren, I want to tell you, we had a guy named Darnell Coles.
Wait, you said this in the break. You said maybe the best
Darnell Coles had a cannon. We were like, man, DC. And then we saw Shawon. Everybody kept saying, you got to see Shawon Dunston with the Cubs. Did you always throw that hard as a kid even?
Yes, I always threw hard, Harold. I always threw hard. I had coaches, wanted me to pitch. I said, no, I'm not pitching. I'm going to make a living off pitching. But always threw hard. I long toss. I threw rocks, snowballs, and I just did everything. I just threw the ball.
For somebody who had the arm that you had, what was the biggest challenge to control it?
On the routine balls. I wanted to be pretty like Ozzie and Larkin and all these guys and like Brandon Crawford. I wasn't pretty and smooth, so, like Don Zimmer said, let it loose. Just throw it. You have it. Use it.
Man, they have the radar gun out on people throwing across the diamond and stuff now, and I laugh. They're like, oh, that was 96 miles an hour.
Sounds like.
I'm like, if you could have seen Shawon throw the ball across the diamond.
I was reading Mark was saying to aim low. Is that the case? Is that how the story went, Shawon?
No, there's a whole bunch of stories, but I just... man, we can't say it, man. We don't television, but man, that's my buddy Mark Grace. I'm so happy going in with him. Man, it wouldn't be a better person than him, but man, he's my security blanket. Like when you have a first baseman, I could go in the hole up the middle, and I know I could throw it because once I get a glove on it, I'm gonna try to get him out. And if I throw it wild or crazy, I know Mark will get it for me.
You dropped a lot of names when we first started, and one of the names was Ryne Sandberg.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like for you to play next to Ryan all those years?
Oh, it's nice. Rhino didn't talk. He just said good morning to me, and you got everything. When you're a rookie, you got everything. And he just led by example, man. He didn't talk much. He was quiet. And then I had Andre Dawson. Those two guys was my locker mates. It was Andre and Rhino. I'm like, why you have Andre and Rhino next to me? I think they were telling me I need to be quiet. So I learned a lot from those guys.
I know we talked a lot about your throwing because that's the first thing that stands out, but you can hit, too. And you talked about Billy Williams. I'm wondering what impact Billy had with you.
Oh, Billy was a big impact, but I always told Billy I wish I would have listened a little bit more. And, man, like Billy's a patient hitter. I'm not patient. I want to hit. I batted eighth. And back in the day when we came up, they put most of the shortstops eighth except for Robin Yount, Ellen Trammell. But most of the shortstops coming up when you're young, you bat eighth. And I hated batting eighth. I just hated batting eighth. But I did learn a lot batting eighth. I learned how to hit a curveball.
Shawon, I was watching the new guys at the Cubs convention, and it was Dansby, and it was Hosmer and Bellinger, and it was just a cool vibe, a different vibe maybe than in the past few seasons. Did you feel that?
Yeah, everybody's young. Whoa, I really feel, I remember me and Harold instructionally, when Harold had the Jerry curl and I had waves in my hair. We don't have that anymore. It's kind of rough to look at, but I'm happy the Cubs got some nice new young players and hopefully they can lead the Cubs to a championship.
Back to those instructional league days when you signed, you went to instructional league, you played down there, and we competed against high-end talent. How important was that for you to your development, Shawon? In I don't know if you went to winter ball or not, but instructional league, winter ball, all those. How important was that?
Oh, it's very important. I was the #1 pick, and they're always looking at me. But then when I got to instructional league, I was like, whoa, these guys are really good. I have a long way to go, especially all the shortstops was much smoother than me. I can make the hard play. The routine play was very frustrating for me. It was just hard for me. I had to go to winter ball. I had to learn how to go play shortstop. I had to learn out there with Ozzie Guillen, who was a big help to me. Dave Concepcion, Ruben Amaro, one of my favorite coaches ever. Ruben Amaro Sr. and Tony Franklin. Those are my infield coaches. They work with me and work with me. But I tell you a story. When I'm in Venezuela, every Latin player say every shortstop's the greatest player in the world, and every guy that comes up is going to be so good, and this guy's going to be a good shortstop. So I'm out there and I'm playing and have this little dude, I always call him little, and he's looking at me and I'm looking at him. He's about 15, 16 years old, and he tell me he's going to be the best shortstop in baseball. I go, whatever. So 5 years later, I see this little dude. I say, hey, you that little dude. And he looked at me and said, you still throwing the ball away? I said, no, I got it under control. That shortstop was Omar Vizquel.
Yeah, man. I thought you might be going there. He could flat out. He could play some short. Hey, so you talk. He was at 16 years old, better than all of us. It's amazing. He was amazing. I went through a whole spring training, and you know, you play games, you catch ground balls, Pepsi game, you miss one, 10 here and there. He never missed a ball the whole spring his rookie year. Imagine. He was like 19 years old. It was unbelievable. Hey, Shawon, I want to turn attention a little bit to this week in the Dream Series. You talked about you wish you would have listened to Billy Williams a little bit more. So now you're that guy talking, giving instruction, all that. What was that like, and what is your message to penetrate to these kids?
Well, first of all, I tell them to be a Major League Baseball player, you have to listen to your parents first before you listen to anybody else. I made it because I listened to my parents, especially my father. My mom was always there, but my dad was there to guide me. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I mean, man, we didn't have much, but I did have much. I knew I was going to be rich in life because I had God, I had my parents, and I had my health. So I knew I was going to be a big leaguer, and I always listened to my father. So I told the kids, listen to your parents, because they will always be there for you. But now when I'm talking about baseball, yeah, man, it sounds funny when I'm telling the kid to be a good listener, don't be a Russian. Man, don't be a rush to be successful, and that was all me. I was in a rush. I'm ready. But you have to slow down. And I'm telling Jerry Manuel here, I'm telling somebody to slow down when I couldn't slow down.
I just wrote down what you said. God, parents, and health is wealth. You knew you were going to be rich in life. I'm going to take that with me. That was pretty cool. Yeah. We were watching video of the Dream Series, Shawon, and we kept going, why are these guys so big, so mature, and yet they're kids?
I don't know. They're too big for me. I mean, when I signed out of high school, I think I was 6'1", 170, and then when I retired, I weighed 188. I don't know, these guys are big and huge, and it's nice to see young players going out there playing and getting the instructions from all the former big leaguers who was out there. They was all outstanding. It made me feel real good about myself for being a Major League Baseball player, because the Major League players could give back. Because when I was young, I really didn't have that, and I wish I did. And I'm kind of jealous of all the players. I wish I could do it all over again, but I can't.
Hey, last thing before we let you go, I'm kind of partial to cold weather kids, being from a cold weather myself, and you're from Brooklyn, New York. What's your advice to those youngsters that are in those cold weather areas that are trying to get to where you got to?
Well, I wasn't cold when I was young, but now I'm cold. I'm older. I mean, man, I wasn't thinking about cold. I just went out there and played, and you just go play. Like, we practice in gyms all the time in March because it's still cold and freezing, and then we just went out there and play. Just let nobody tell you that you can't play. Just go out there and play. The scouts are looking. If you're good enough, the scouts will find you. They found me in Brooklyn, New York. They'll find you. Just go out there and play and be a good listener.
And they found you in Brooklyn, New York, and now you're a Cubs Hall of Famer. Shawon, thanks so much for the time this morning, and we'll talk with you down the road.
Okay, thank you, Lauren.
Cubs Hall of Famer. That sounds good. That sounds so good.
I love when the greats are still humbled by that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It meant something to him, you could tell.
It means a lot. That's a lot of work.
Let's step aside. We're going to take a break. The Hall of Fame announcement is in 1 week's time.